Well, good afternoon, Senate District 16. Hope that everybody's having having a good day. The sun is out and everything looks good, so that's really great. Glad to see spring is starting to come around the corner. Today, I'd just like to talk a little about the budget process. The governor will be releasing his revised budget here very shortly. The Democrat House, they're working on their budget, and we at the majority at the Senate, we're working on our budget. And the process, it's a pretty simple process we follow. We take a look at what we spent in the 2018-19 biennium, what the projected spending is for 2020-21, where the governor's budget is, and then we break that down into the individual areas such as education, transportation, judiciary. The list goes on and on. It's all of the different agencies that we have committees for, and if it's a finance branch, why we go ahead and each chair comes up with their budget for their division, and then we put those all together and kind of see where we're at. And we're in the process of working on that right now. We spent quite a few hours this week working on that. And so what it amounts to is we'll bring all those together, and then we'll start looking at where we're going to be at, where we feel we need to put a little more money, or maybe where we can reduce some spending because of the fact that we're doing some reform that'll drive down some of the cost. And so we are looking at quite a bit of reform this year that hopefully we can keep these costs in check and drive some of these costs down. So we take that into account, and then we come up with some numbers for each one of our agencies or divisions, and then kind of see how that stacks up in the total versus last biennium spending, the projected spending, and then where the governor's at. So that's the basis of where we'll start. The House will do the same, and the governor, he's going to have his revised budget out, and then we'll start having our leadership meetings with the governor and with the House, and start working together on working out the differences between not only our total number, but the number for each agency or for each committee. So that's a real short take of the project. It's going to be where we're going to be spending the majority of our time. Our second deadline is next Friday night, and then everything has to be passed through the House and the Senate. Unless it's a tax and a finance bill, then it can be held out for a little longer time for hearing. But we're getting into the point now to where the budget will be, where we'll be putting about 90% of our attention and our time. So if folks have any questions, certainly feel free to call our office. We're always willing to talk to our constituents and always like to hear from you and hear about how things are affecting you. Good or bad. So I hope everybody is having a good week, and certainly feel free to call us, and look forward to talking to you again next week.